At the lineup, Seb, on a daylight day. Obviously, that fog is, it's making things kind of hard to see as well, and a little bit cold. What's it like for our surfers right now? They've been on hold for a while. They've had about an hour or so to kind of wait to get ready. I mean, they would have put their wetsuits on a lot earlier than that. What's going through their minds right now in their lineup? Just get me away. And a very accomplished driver and surfer at this wave. Here's the first look at Koxa.
We're straight into it, aren't we? And look at a big A-frame peak. I mean, the Koxa bomb. He is all about that first peak, and I know, Seb, that you are a very avid lover of that same peak, but especially being a goofy foot, I mean, that is the wave to find here. That's the tallest peak, and what a great start.
So more opportunity for our Team Pink, Koxa and Rebiere, and also for Blue, Bouillons, Cosenza. Looks like Koxa bomb again here. And this is Team Pink, whipped him to one by Eric Rebiere, and an absolute ton of speed for him. Guinness World Record holder at this wave for a massive wave ridden back 3 years ago. And here he goes, hooking off the top. Drop down the wave here. Just rolling with that speed. That turbulent water. We talk about those chops and that white water. And some hang time on the end.
You know, ice, and then you go back to powder. You got to find the moments when you dig the rail in.
Beautiful carve here. You know, again, this is something that I think that their second event, as I understand, right? And learned a lot from that first event. Oh, this is Koxa. But again, you're talking about just that extra water time. You spend that extra time in the water, you're going to figure out what looks good. I really like the way Kocha's board looked. Super smooth on the face. I think wave choice was part of that too, but just looks like his board is steady.
What about stature-wise when it comes to toe surfing? In surfing, we're always talking about low centers of gravity. You're a tall man, Pete. Does it a lot easier to be compact and shorter? It looks like helps Koxa with his strong legs kind of deal with those bumps.
I would agree. Yeah, I mean, stature is a part of it. But I mean, as a tall guy myself, you end up figuring out ways to work around it, right?
Condor wingspan?
Yeah, the wingspan will help.
Meanwhile, here goes Michel de Bouillons with an attacking line in. There you see those bumps and those ribs just get hold of her board. She does well to control it. Just kind of consume her from behind, using that speed well, Michelle.
You know, you saw that Koxa had a very smooth wave. Unfortunately for Michelle, she ends up seeing a bit of wake left from the machine from previously. I don't know how you solve that, because it's not like there's a distinct area that you would be able to drive in and out, but ultimately you just got to find that clean water, and that's where you got to do those maneuvers, or you just find a way to get over the top of those bit of ribs in the face from the wake and deal with it. It's just part of surfing Nazaré, yeah?
So I couldn't tell you the exact length of my rope, but I started with a much longer rope, and recently have shortened it by maybe a meter or two. And I think it also comes down to how you interact with your partner, what you're used to. If you want to do quick pickups, if you want to whip around, if you want to be agile, or if you just on a massive day, I lengthen it a little bit, because then it's good to have a distance to the jet ski, so the jet ski can get out of the wave a little bit quicker, and you can use that extra rope to pull yourself in the position that you want to.
I've actually shortened my rope, but this is a pretty good wave here for
a bomb for Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle, that was a solid wave. And she seems to have put herself in a little deeper position than we've seen in the past. So again, just refining the skills and getting better and better.
You see Rodgrigo, Koxa on the rope as well. Eric Rebiere driving. Looks like priority with Pink. And here goes the Koxa bomb. A big wave here for him. Big bomb. Look at the speed. The chatters on that board. He controls it well. Smoothly done. Dealt with a big track of weight from a ski. This one will push to a softer section. Will kind of disappear, as from this angle it tends to happen. That white water just rumbles down. And right behind, a bomb here for Cosenza. In Team Blue, he'll whip one down. There's a nice little kind of speed check turn from a high line. Again, just ping himself out onto the shoulder, where his partner Michel de Bouillons will be just kind of cantering on that ski, maintaining that speed to pick him up, get him back. Nice little exchange, two good waves.
It's like Ian there on that one, right?
Ian Cosenza on a big wave, just finishing off, dealing with some bumps, a little exuberant flick. there's a job where, you have to make pretty cool-headed decisions in pretty heavy situations.
So true. As we watch this replay here, the center of that peak, that was a big wave right there. And again, that's what this special wedge effect that you see here, right in the apex there, and that was really nicely done. Here, this wave a little bit different. As I'm trying to think if we had seen a switch here from Rodgrigo to Joao yet, but that still looks like Rodgrigo there. But that wave, significantly different, more flatter on the fade.
Oh, let's see this wave. Nice and deep. That's Ian, I think.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, good line.
Paying some prices right now, though.
Tried to hang on and just.
This is where that training comes into play.
Yeah. So you're cold. You spend up to 6-7 hours in the water on the biggest days, or in the heat, 1 hour of full focus. And so you need a lot of endurance. You need to recover quick. But on the wave, it's more like a sprint. It's more like if you're a downhill skier or something. A lot of bumps, a lot of strength in your core and your legs. So I do a lot of similar training to alpine skiers. Worked with some of the world champions and Olympic champions from the Austrian ski team very early. I started training with that guy 14 years ago, and yeah, just kind of.
Here's Eric, live action. Eric Rebiere, and a little look around, realised that wave was just going to go a little soft for him. So that energy not really detonating his last couple of waves. I saw that previous one. Cosenza just put that real hard fade in, right? We talk about those waves that don't have the wall after, and it looked like he kind of really faded back, and I guess that's always the game, right? It's how much do you fade so you're in that critical spot without getting clipped. We'll just pick up a bomb, we'll revisit that.
Oh, going right.
Big wave here. And a great looking wave. It looks like Michelle has found herself an absolute bomb as she gets unseated at the end, but an aggressive line across that one.
Yeah, you'd think that she was fading to actually go back the opposite direction and go away from the cliff, but she kept her head towards the cliff, and was fortunate that she was able to get out from that energy. Well, this is that. It seemed like the decision really wasn't originally to go right. It was pulling across the main peak to go left, but then decision made to go the opposite direction. And those split-second decisions, the driver has to pay attention in regards to it. That's why I think that the extra safety ski is so important too, right? So they could actually chase from the other side of the peak and notice that change happens, because it is so important.
Eric Rebiere fading one, holding that inside rail for a while as he gets the fade into the bowl here, and he'll start swinging and head down this wave with speed, and the white water just roars behind him. Nice little smooth carve off the top as well, just kind of connecting things up, and he'll just stay with that. I just wanted to ask, at the end of that last wave short of Michelle, will that cost her points wise where she doesn't get that clean exit?
Not going to be a huge difference per se, but ultimately, yeah, you want to finish out your wave with optimum control, because that's going to showcase it. Because you're not doing a ton of maneuvers. Any time that you're going to show that you're going to have complete control is important.
Another look here at Eric Rebiere. Big fade he put in, getting a couple of maneuvers in as well. Been an important thing at this event. Decent way for Eric.
And you can see he's got a little bit wider stance. I think that he's definitely, and that's one thing about toe surfing and the straps, is that you have to move your straps. You can move them wider or narrower depending on what your style is. You can kind of customize your board for that. Very similar to adjusting your suspension for a certain driver who's going to be doing that, something like that. They feel more comfortable having that really wide stance.
Well, pushing women's surfing live right now in the big wave arena is Michelle de Bouillons, Franco-Brazilian. Spent a bit of time based up in Rodrigues in the southwest of France after transitioning over from Brazil, now here in Nazaré, and now on a right-hander. Looks at this stage like a kind of a medium-sized wave. I thought she was maybe going to go left there, but she'll stick with the backhands. And then going down towards the bottom and having to deal with a big old bump. She'll get buckled off in that. Just over a minute remaining. And then getting a wave at the end to throw his numbers up onto the scoreboard. Of course, we will see both of these teams in action later on as well. Well, shortly, really, in a couple of hours' time, because we are seeing a non-elimination format, the leaderboard format. Everyone gets to surf twice.